Bonjour, bonjour. Today we're covering la phrase représentative en français. But what is it? What is la phrase représentative? You may wonder. And here's an example. Is a phrase with a presentative. So, voici un exemple is a good example. Here's an example is une phrase with a presentative. Voici un exemple. Is it confusing? Yes, it is, because in French, in that situation, we don't have a verb to form this sentence. Voici un exemple. No verb. And yet it works perfectly correct grammatically. In English, however, you would say, here is a sentence. And this is why we're covering this topic today. Are you ready? Let's start. In this lesson, we'll have the definition, what is a presentative, we'll have a bunch of examples, what are some of them presentatives and sentences, and finally, noteworthy English-French differences. A presentative or presentatives are words or phrases used to present to announce something or someone. Not much to say there. Let's go right after the examples. And in French, this is what the presentatives are. We're going to have voici, this is, here is, voilà, that is, there is, il y a, there is, there are. Could also put it in the plural, in the future, in the past. It's very versatile. And we have c'est. It is, that is, etc., etc. Those are presentative words. They are not really complex. When you put them one next to the other, it's not really very difficult. The difficulty arises from thinking in English when you want to speak French. This is where we need to divide. We need to create a divide. We need to be Moses splitting the waters. This lesson helps us do that. Differentiate how to think in French from how to think in English. Here is Steve McQueen, the king of cool. Voici Steve McQueen, le roi du cool. You can see the man in his convertible, Jaguar convertible, and his horse, because obviously one vehicle is not enough for a man like that. Voici, here is. And again, you will notice that there's no verb. Not a soul of a verb in this sentence, only the presentative in French. Voici Steve McQueen, le roi du cool. Another example of that. Here's Snedrodningen, the queen of cool. Et voilà Snedrodningen, la reine du cool. Another example of that. There's a Danish robot at the door and it's waiting. Il y a un robot danois à la porte et il attend. There is, il y a. Note that if there were several Danish robots at the door, could mean that in French you would be in trouble if you were to translate the sentence. Because how do you put the plural of il y a? How do you set that presentative in the plural? Il y a, the thing is, there's no plural for it. It's gonna stay il y a. Il y a des robots danois à la porte. A difference from the English language again. There are Danish robots at the door. Il y a des robots danois à la porte. So French language here arguably is easier on the nerves. Consumes less RAM. You don't need to put that sentence in the plural, or at least that presentative in the plural, to be more exact. It was about time. Il était temps. We just say il était temps. Il est temps translates it is about time. And finally we have c'est l'heure. And here in English you would say it's time. C'est l'heure, it's time. English and French vary in many, many ways, and it's especially true in regard of presentatives. Chocolate is good. Well, this is a case of emphasis. Le chocolat, c'est bon. In English you wouldn't say chocolate, it's good, or at least it doesn't translate the same way as it does here. The natural way of saying it is le chocolat, c'est bon. Chocolate is good. It's also the case in relative subordinate in that example in particular. Trees, some grow here. Des arbres, il y en a qui poussent ici. And I know, smoke coming out of the ears. When you may read this sentence at first glance, it is very, very different from the English sentence. And it is. It is. We just need to understand that the way that we present things in French has to do with these presentatives. So it is very important that you know them and that you learn how to think in French when you present something. And we have the definition up here. Let's rewind a little bit. Presentatives are words or phrases used to present, to announce something or someone. And in that situation, you may ask yourself, am I presenting something? Well, obviously, you're presenting the fact that there are trees that were not really registered by the person you were having a conversation with. And this is why you present the trees. And in French, you need to use a presentative in that situation. In English, it's very, very minimalistic, the way that they reduce the information to the bare minimum. Trees, some grow here. It's almost Russian. That's how minimalistic it is. In French, more words, more activity going on. We need to present something. And this is when we use a presentative. And finally, for this video, there are many, many other exceptions. However, I suggest you click the link below the video after this lesson to find out if you can learn how to use them with examples, specific examples. It will be more useful than just listening to what I have to say. Like what I'm saying will not make you integrate the theory. It will make you possibly understand it if I'm doing a good enough job. But it will not integrate, it will not install that theory in your brain the way an exercise can. And in the case of neutral pronoun, something, the neutral pronoun something, here's something to eat. In French, you can get away with just saying here to eat. Here's something to eat. Voici à manger. Or something is written on this machine. Sur cette machine, il y a écrit quelque chose. And this is different enough to warrant an explanation here. Il y a, there is, écrit, written is the past participle, and then something. But would you say that in English? Would you say on this machine there is written something? This doesn't sound English to my ears. Does it to yours? In French it is sur cette machine il y a écrit quelque chose. It makes sense. We can now sum up the content of this lesson. Presentatives are words or phrases used to present, to announce something or someone. They are voici, voilà, il y a, il est, c'est. Just like in the sentence that we covered here, many, many more. If you click the link below the video to find out if you can complete the exercise. And finally, some noteworthy English-French differences. Emphasis, relative, subordinate, neutral pronoun, something. I will see you in a GIF. Hopefully, find out the exercise, find out if it's good for you, find out if it works for you. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in another one. Take care.